Good morning, good morning, good morning, and a huge warm welcome to Carnation Crafts. We are live in the Carnation studio, and we are here with a gorgeous, gorgeous collection, but it's your last day today to be getting hold of it, so you need to move fast. We are talking about Dreamland Safari, and it is absolutely gorgeous. We are going to be making things like this with that collection. Beautiful, gorgeous, gorgeous cards, bringing in different elements, everything working and playing together. Look at the layers that we're getting, those florals at the bottom that blend so beautifully with those trees. This is just an absolute joy to behold this whole collection. Strip it back and make very clean, simple cards. Everything just working beautiful. Look at the colours on that. Isn't it absolutely adorable? There you go, adorable. See, Taz actually said it on there. That's me. That's you. No. So you've got all of the elements there sitting in, and I think when we look at things like where we've got the sort of muted colours on these stars, those baby blues that come in for the baby colours, and we work those in with the really brights, there's a lovely way of creating background textural pieces. Very, very pretty. Also, we've got an amazing extra upsell die as well, just to talk to you about that so that we can create family trees. We have got this beautiful shape. Now, the basic card shape, or we can make your 3D cards, and they fold flat for postage, but we have got a full 360 rotation. Look at these. Absolutely stunning. Yes, Miss Taz?
Can I just say, a fair few people have started commenting.
Hello, people. I have no computer.
We've got Becky.
Hey, Becky.
Karen Jane.
Hey, Karen.
And we've got Pauline, who has said that her dies have arrived this morning.
Pauline, that's exciting. You're going to be creating today. I hope as well as we speak, the vignettes should be live. They may do it at the end of today's shows, or it may be live now. You can check at some point and see where you're going with that. Now, the other thing that we can make with today's collection, because the main card shape is insane, Pauline, when you start playing with this and you suddenly realise that you can be making books with this, and they're absolutely stunning. Look at this. I hope you've got your magnets, because you'll need them for your closures. Dreamland Safari. Now, we're going to have a little video of Mr. Dave Bradford reading this for you soon as well. So you're going to see all of the different elements, and then we'll look at some more finished samples, and we'll get to boards and demos for you. But before we go any further, this, my friends, is Dreamland Safari. So cute, right? It's such a lovely collection. There's just so many ways of playing with it. Those stripped back cards that we can do that sort of pare it all back and mute it, or those really vibrant, joyous, bright colours as well. We are on the last day today, so this is the last time we'll be live with it in the Carnation studio. The number for it is 231001, Dreamland Safari Collection. It is $89.99 for your show price today, but we do have a code for you that'll give you 10% off, but you do have to input the code, and that code is all in capitals CCDS10, Charlie Charlie Delta Sierra 10. If you put that all in capitals, this will take your price down to £80.99, absolute bargain, but you must use that code. It's packed. This is a big collection. That main card shape on its own has got so much in it. This is absolutely jam-packed. Everything you need for baby cards, or everything you need to create beautiful apertures. We've got this easy aperture card, which I'll show you when we're going through the boards. It's a joy. This whole collection is just a joy to behold. It really is. So you've got your main card shape, you've got your florals, you've got your safari friends, you've got all your gorgeous little sweet lullabies as well, which I have to say are beautiful for baby cards. And then you've got your delightful delivery, of course, which is the little baby being brought in by the balloon. That's fully snippable. So you can choose to use the balloon, or you can choose to remove it and, say, for instance, use the stork bringing it in, or have one of the elephants holding the baby. It is just an absolute joy. And where you're seeing that on the shot that you've got there, if you look down to the bottom right hand side, you can see the stork holding the baby there. So you've got all the elements coming through where we can snip it, and next to it you can see the baby being held by the balloon. So absolute just ways of playing. The one that you're seeing where the stork is holding it, we can go to your very simple, or we can start building up your florals and make it slightly more full if you like, and we can just take it to the next level and really fill it up like you see there. Loads and loads of different ways, right? And that's what we always get with Carnation. We get those full cards. Look at that. Really building it up, right? And the joy is those cards that maybe look more advanced, and this is a really strong thing to remember with Carnation. It's not that they're advanced necessarily card making, they just take more time to make. We're all capable. And with Carnation, because we've got the artwork, we can all do it. So we're going to look at finished samples, we're going to look at the boards, and then we'll get to demo. So which way do you want to do it, Taz? Do you want me to go straight to boards, or do you want me to do finished samples? Do you want me to do the boards first, lovely? So, yes, Miss Taz.
Can I just say that a fair few people are still asking whether downloads will be available. It will be later on this afternoon, I believe.
Carnation tend, as a rule, I'm not quoting because they haven't actually told me, but they tend to put it on after the last show. The last show today will be at 12, so the downloads will be available to you at 1. They might slip them on earlier, but I think they'll wait until we finish the last show, because of course we've got another show today at 12 o'clock, and that'll be the last of it. So get your demo time in, get your orders in, and then you'll be able to get your downloads later on this afternoon. But let's have a look at this Dreamland card shape, because it is exquisite. It is a stroke of engineering genius. It's a card shape to see you through the rest of your card making journey, and that's really important because there's so many elements to it. What this means is where you've got your cut lines going through here, and you can see the little pips that are holding it together, you get to choose whether you want to make layered apertures simply by using a craft knife and cutting along those. If you cut 3 of these, for instance, and you do one where you cut it at the first line, that's going to be the top of your apertures. The next one, cut it at the next line, that's going to be your next layer, and that will show through from the top. And the final one at the bottom, you cut through where the oval is, you're going to have those stepped layered apertures done with absolute ease for you. Because your outside shape remains the same, you can shuffle them together and they will be absolutely perfect every single time. Nick calls it the easy aperture, and he's absolutely correct. It is absolutely so quick and easy to create layered apertures, and layered apertures are hard. We know that. They're just difficult to make. Then you've got this piece here, and this folds into a spine to create the spines of books, or to create mad, huge layered cards. Up to you which way you want to play with that. I'll show you what I mean in finished samples. But it's when you see the colour, when you see the plate weight. And by the way, we haven't mentioned your belt buckle. We haven't mentioned your extra filigree, your corner pieces, these strap lines that can go on your books or your cards to just give you that glorious finish. Because we've got all of that, it's instantly a beautiful card. And you haven't done anything yet. You've just stuck your layers together. So already, when you're looking at, you know, if you're just joining us and you're just starting your card making journey, you literally, it's done, you know, you're there. Look at these layered apertures coming through, the colours, the glorious colours, the little doors that you can make for these card shapes that just open out. So you can put little hidey holes behind them. Joyous, right? And then you've got your extras where you've got the colour here with the filigree coming through. Really pretty. Stunning cards, and you haven't laid a vignette on it yet. That's the point with Carnation, isn't it? Because we can create absolutely extraordinary cards, beautiful cards. No difficulty from our point of view at all. It's done for us. So when we start to lay a vignette in here, so if you've got this shape where you've got your apertures cut into it and you're keeping it quite plain and simple, one vignette on the inside of that, that's going to create something absolutely breathtaking. We're there. I love Carnation. They make things easy. I like easy. I don't want to have to work hard. I like easy. I'm a lazy crafter. And Carnation gives me all of the opportunities to create something insanely awesome very quickly. These florals are just beautiful. That board just, it fills my little heart with joy. All of these beautiful bright florals, you know, the really gorgeous bright pinks, down to the muted magnolia yellows, magnolia and white. Well, I think it's magnolia flowers. I'm kind of making that up because we all know that flowers are not my strong point. These, where you've got those pinks and the yellows bringing it all together, and these match with your perfect papers, of course. They've got the muted tones in your perfect papers that align everything together. The striking greens here that obviously work with the pinks so well. You've got the lighter foliage. Everything works together, or everything works individually. Up to you. Absolutely up to you. It's jam-packed loaded. Look at the cut line details on here so you can sculpt. Crazy, crazy stuff. I love this collection so much. This is a boon, absolute boon to your crafting. You've got obviously your pinks and your blues if you want to go your traditionals, but you've also got your yellow and your green, and that fits in again with your perfect papers, and it fits in with all the other vignettes that you're getting as well. So the baby colours that we've got in your lullaby pack, all of those will all join together. If you're using your really bright florals, obviously your pinks and your blues are going to go with those, but so are your yellow and your greens. You can go either which way, it doesn't matter, and it will work together. You'll get this beautiful blend, and I really enjoy that. And I love the fact that it's got its own mat as well, so I can raise it up and I can build and play on that formula. It's really pretty. Look at these, Miss Taz. You've got your little safari friends. Aren't they gorgeous? And again, your cut line detail, the giraffe, where you're looking at where his sort of the pattern on his skin is. You've even got your cut lines there, so you can really play with that and format it. The lines on your stalk, really important to be able to shape those wings out if you want to, or it just gives you the absolute detail if you don't want to shape it out, because he still looks relatively 3D just as he is. You don't have to shape them, it's just a joyous way to play. And then you've got your elephant, each one again with its matte layer, so you can really make them prominent. Again, think to your scissor lift if you want that giraffe to move forward from your card. If you've got your scissor lift die, absolutely you can do that. Look at ways you blend them in with other collections. We said yesterday Bohemian Beauty absolutely will work with this collection. And then your sweet lullabies, aren't they lovely? So you've got all your baby elements there, and you can use this as bunting, or you can use it as a little line to hang these up, so you've got that gorgeous little flow if you want to make baby cards. Especially remember, we've got that easy aperture card. This can happily be glued onto that aperture and have these hanging through the aperture. Pretty as a picture. Nice cards to make, easy cards to make, but they don't look easy. That's the point. Carnation make it easy for us to make complex cards. And that is the biggest gift we can get, right? Because we don't have to work hard, strive hard to get what we need. You'll find all of this on the Carnation Craft website, which is www.carnationcrafts.co.uk. Dreamland Safari Collection, a joy to have in your hands, 231001. Usual price $89.99, but we're going to give you a code, and that's going to take it down to $18.99 if you want to use that. That's CCDS10, and that is going to give you 10% off. Remember, your P&P, if you buy the bundle, is going to be free because it's over £50. If you buy individuals, that will take your postage up to $2.95 because it'll be under the P&P threshold. If you're buying internationally with us today, A, welcome. And B, your shipping and handling is different. If you're just buying the collection itself, it will be $4.95 shipping and handling. But if you're buying it with the perfect papers, which obviously is always the perfect pairing, then that's going to cost you $14.99. Is it 95? 95. $14.95 for your shipping and handling, which we know is still a really, really good price. Your perfect papers then are going to be your little partner to it. So we'll talk about those first, and then I'm going to talk about some extra dies that you can buy. Your perfect papers are 231009. You get 6 colours and you get 8 of each, but there are differences within the papers you're getting. So you will get some that are block colours and some that are patterned. So you get a total of 48 sheets, I believe, in there, and you're going to have different patterns, and they're absolutely stunning. Those cream tones, those pink tones, and those greens, they work beautifully with this collection. Please remember, when you've got your tonal shift there, you've got your darker pinks and your lighter pinks. You can see them on your screen there. Again, same with your greens, same with your creams. So it means your mattes and layers are perfect every single time without fail. Nothing's going to clash. It's all going to work because they're colour picked from the artwork that Nick, who is our creative director, does in-house. So he colour picks it. Everything works. And what's really fascinating about Carnation is when you break that down, you've got artwork that is drawn so that it matches the die that it makes the die. Then that is set off to actually become a piece of metal, and your perfect papers are designed to blend with that as well. So everything works. It's just this beautiful symbiotic journey. Carnation are different. They take us through and they hold our hands. We do have 2 other dies for you today, and I'll show you the boards for them. One of which, obviously all of this has flown very, very quick, and we knew it would. But this is a boon. If you can stretch to this, I strongly advise it because you can do so much with it. So we showed you earlier how it can be a card just as normal. So you've got your base card here. You cut the largest one twice, score it at 1/2 inch, put some red liner on one of them, stick them together. You've got your tent base. Then you've got your mats and your layers, and you've got the tree. Now the tree itself, the artwork for it is gorgeous. It really is knockout. And there's so many ways of using this and so many things that we can do. You've also got your family tree shapes. They might be brighter on your screen. They're quite dark on mine, but I will say you can see them over here. You can see the shapes. And they come with a frame and a back if you want to use it. And you get your little arrows to create your family tree. And you get those gorgeous name plaques that you can use to put people's names on, and that can be for groups of friends, it can be for family, it can be for newborns coming, loads of different ways. But again, think of the different birds that Carnation have brought to us. Look at the different ways you're going to be able to play with it. More cleverly than that, you can cut off, so if you create 2 of these, print 2, cut off the center point from the mid to the top on one, and the opposite on the other, so you cut the bottom, and they slot together to make that 360 gorgeous 3D card shape that you can just decorate the whole way round. Because they slot together, it means it folds flat for postage as well. This is an absolute must. It's so beautiful. It's absolutely gorgeous. 231007. It's the family tree card shaped die set, and it's got a show price today of $34.99, $2.95 UK P&P, because you are going under that threshold with postage. If you want to take that up, you can obviously go on the Carnation website and buy any essentials that you need if you want to just buy this on its own, and that'll make your P&P free. But they've also got this amazing alphabet, which I love. Look at that font. It's gorgeous. And look at how they've made it 3D with the shading. The clever. Carnation are clever. And we've got everything going on here. Now, obviously, you get full colorways. So, you can have it all in the yellow, all in the blue, all in the pink, all in the green. Or you can mix and match like we've got here because they blend perfectly. Again, look at your perfect papers. Same colors. And then you've got your ordinals as well, including your exclamation mark, so you can obviously create whichever you want. Then you get a mat and layer for every single one of those pieces, which is extraordinary. So when you start to work out then from, if I just move this in, look how much metal you're getting there. That's extraordinary, isn't it? Beautiful set, absolute. And you can never have enough alphabets. When you're talking through and you're looking at artwork as a general rule, and we're using fonts, if you think of brush lettering, let's say, there's a million different brush lettering fonts. And I used to build fonts. Fonts are so important visually. So alphabets are always going to be a really strong thing to have in our card making. And obviously this is toned towards baby cards, fun cards. It's got that sort of fun aspect to it, hasn't it? So it's gorgeous. I love the fact that Carnation keep bringing us new alphabets, because it means that we can play in a way that's appropriate to the cards that we're making. That's really important, and it finishes off the tone of the cards that we're making. This is 231008. It's on the it's called the Dreamland Alphabet die set. Show price of $34.99, $2.95 UK P&P. Obviously, if you buy the tree and the alphabet together as a unit, obviously you'd get free P&P, because it would take you over the £50. Absolutely stunning though, right? Really lovely set. I really like that alphabet. I think it's really important, and I was really drawn to it when I first saw it. So going on from there, let's have a look. What are you going to make with this when you get it home? Where are you going with it? What can you, what can you bring from it? Loads of ways, loads of ways. So that main card shape, which might be one of the most important card shapes I've ever worked with, because it made everything easy for me with apertures. Look at this. So we get that shape. I love the corners of it, the delicate details of it. It's got a vintage feel to it. It's very fresh looking. It's very, very appealing. And we can use your different colorways to bring it in. It obviously works portrait or landscape, either way that you want to use it, you can choose. And it's absolutely beautiful. Look at the little elements in this. Just how they play, right? The colorway, look at the color of the monkey and then compare it to the beige tones of the card base. Everything working in. It's always going to blend beautifully. If you want to make it without the aperture, so you're taking out the apertures and just using it as your base, how cute is that? These aren't difficult. Grounding out the giraffe here with your florals. So you've got that grounding base, and then obviously giving the monkey a reason to hold on, and then that little washing line. Welcome little one. The sentiments from the Bundles of Joy collection, which you can find on the Carnation Craft website. Those digital stamps for Bundles of Joy are yours for free. You don't have to pay for them. Carnation are always going to give you free backing papers as well, and they're going to give you gorgeous, gorgeous inserts for your cards, so you can choose how to play. And then something like this. Now this card, for those of you who haven't seen that base before, it's from a set that Carnation have recently launched, which is a different thing to what they normally do, called Clean and Simple. And it encourages us to work in a very clean and simple way. And this is a really good example of that. Just those florals working up, that giraffe, and a simple stamp. It's paired back, it's easy to make. And it's stunning, right? Visually, we've got this really beautiful, stunning scene. And I really love it. I really love the fact that we can play in so many ways. This is one collection. Look at all of these different cards. Bringing in your circle here. So you've got your Noah's Ark. I love this card. I love the fact that two little die cuts have been made here and here with little circles in order so that those monkeys can sit inside. The DT team absolutely nailed it, didn't they? And I love the fact that that's the little rocking card, because normally when we make circle cards we cut the edge off so that they don't rock, but because we're working with Noah's Ark, it's appropriate that it does. Again, these are the things that we get with ease with Carnation. Massive shout out to the DT. I did say it yesterday, but honestly, the DT absolutely nailed it. They nail it every single time, don't they? I want to show you this because I want to show you the backing papers on it, and also the use of the font. Why the font is so important. That alphabet is such a strong strategic piece for this collection. The way it's shaped, the way you've got those sort of balloon lettering, which is really important for baby cards, isn't it? Visually it works. How gorgeous are the free backing papers? We get those for free. I just think that's an absolute boon. Using those gorgeous shabby nesteds as well. Really, really pretty collection. And those muted tones go so well with those backing papers. You're just going to be able to create extraordinary cards. And again, take it up, make it colourful. This card is a prime example, isn't it? One floral used 4 times, and the elephant, and then using your alphabet to just create that, and it looks 3D, doesn't it? The letters look 3D. That's a really important visual, I think, that card. Also obviously used with your teardrop and sweep nested, so you've got that really gorgeous baby feel to it, the curvature that you get. That's a really striking visual to me of where I can go with the cleanest, simplest lines. nice, simple cards to make. They don't look simple, that's the point. When you make your simple cards with Carnation, they don't look simple. Another way of using, an alternative way of using that card shape, the main card shape that you're getting. So you've got this, it's folded. We've cut the aperture out halfway, which is your choice to do, and you leave that pill shape in. Clever, right? Clever use of the card base. Really simple and effective, and it gives us this gorgeous outline. We get this really beautiful silhouette shape from it. Really important. It's such a lovely, lovely card shape. It's the way we get to play with it. Look at this. So you've got the elephant used in both of those cards. Could those cards be any more different? We're playing with the same collection. We're merging it. We're using the vignettes in different ways. This one where you've got your sort of tongue-in-cheek, the elephant flying off. This one where you've got, you know, the elephant poking at the socks, maybe stealing the socks. Really cute, but so completely different. Blend your vignettes in. Work out where your your strongest points is. Oh, points are. Bring in your tree. Simple use of florals. And this is where we use the tree with the card base. Instead, thank you Lavinia for this, instead of using it as your 3D. But your 3D is absolutely an option for you, and you get to bring it in. But I like it on its base. I like those lines that we make when we make our family tree. They're important. Look at that. Simple floral use. And then the elegance of the alphabet. I'm just trying to get hold of one of your the 3D cards at the minute. I can only find the one next to me that I did yesterday, so I do apologise. But this is the one that we did with magnets, where you get your quadrant. Now, obviously, I was doing it in demo, so I don't have the extra, you know, decoration on the other sides, but you absolutely can decorate all 4 sides. This one was made with magnets, the use of magnets, so we can move your characters around, and it becomes an interactive playway for the Litlies. And I love that. I love the fact that we get to do different things. So the simple use of magnets, I can take the elephant away and sort of sticking back on, the monkeys all move, and the florals. You've got the chance of playing. And then, if you really want to, you can absolutely go to town. Let's have a look at a book, and then we're going to play a little VT for you with the other book. But I'm just going to show you this, because to my way of thinking, let me just make sure I open this carefully because I don't want to ruin the sample. Look at this. No words needed, are there? That beautiful playway. The tree fits perfectly on that card. It's extraordinary. All this brought to you in a collection that's just stunning. Dreamland Safari. Absolutely incredible, right? Because we've got that spine die, which allows us to create spines for the book with absolute ease. That opens up as well, but I don't want to, oh, I can do it, there you go. And remember, you're allowed to copy the DT samples. So if you want to work in the same way that Janine has here, feel free. Isn't it stunning? We've got a little VT for you of Janine's other book that she made of Dave reading it for you, Davey B. So we're going to play that now, and then we'll get through and start with demo.
Dreamland Safari by Janine Dawson. We're off on safari tonight, you and I, as the sun goes to bed and sleep time is nigh. So close those eyes, my little one, as you peacefully drift off to Dreamland. We're off on safari tonight, you and I, as storks swoop and fly and giraffes reach up high. But look out for monkeys, my little one, as you wander on safari in Dreamland. We're off on safari tonight, you and I, as elephants play, their trunks dance and sway. So like an elephant never forgets, remember I love you, my little one, and enjoy your safari in Dreamland. The end.
Gorgeous, right? Thank you, Janine, for all of your hard work, and thank you, Davey B, for reading it. Today we are last day for Dreamland Safari. This is your last chance to get it while we're going live. 231001. You can find it on the Carnation Crafts website, www.carnationcrafts.co.uk. Usual price is $89.99, and it will go straight back up to that eventually, so please make sure you get it while you can get your best price. And we have a code that you can use in order to do that, which is CCDS10. That's all in capitals. That code will not last forever. It is only really while we are live on the shows, so you need to get in and get that code used, otherwise you're going to be paying the extra 10%. Free UK P&P, which is an absolute dream. Thank you very much, Carnation. Don't forget to put in also your tree and your alphabet if you want them as well, because if you do the whole, you'll get combined postage for free, obviously. And they are absolutely gorgeous. We did look at them on the boards. Your family tree is 231007, $34.99, $2.95 UK P&P. The same goes for your alphabet, $34.99, $2.95 UK P&P. But obviously, if you buy it together, you'll get free P&P, Miss Taz. Yes.
Some more people have started commenting. Linda Poland said that book was lovely.
Brilliant.
Donna's commenting. We've got Kate Jude, Jacqueline Ward. Suzanne Page has said she loves this set. She had to buy the whole thing on Sunday, and now she's just waiting for a postman.
Ooh, won't be long now, Suzanne. You're going to get that in your little paw very soon.
Sam Smith's been saying hi. Linda McLeod's been saying hi. She's been walking her dog. Lee Walker said, hello, lovely. Hope you're well.
Oh, thank you, Lee.
Now, loads of people.
It feels weird not having my computer, I have to say.
It feels
I feel
weird.
like I'm
Talking.
It feels weird. It feels weird, Miss Tiz Taz. It feels odd. Right, I'm just going to pop those over here. Now, one thing I'm just going to give a mention to, again, before I start with demo, because it's actually, I think, in one of my demos, and I'll forget because, you know, the brain does not necessarily play well. Enamel dots. Carnation now have these on their website, and they're a joy to use. I love the sizes of them because you've obviously got your 3 different sizes. So they work in this really gorgeous, gorgeous little way. I'm going to use them in demo, and I will forget to mention it because it'll probably just sort of sit there and I'll go. Perfect Pastel Enamel Dots. They're absolutely stunning. They're new to the Carnation website, so this is a new thing that they've now got. And you'll get that over on www.carnationcrafts.co.uk. Aren't they gorgeous? I love the colours. And you can see that you've got the colours from Dreamland Safari in there. Miss Tiz Taz is saying to me that they are $3.99, 4mm, 6mm and 8mm. Thank you, Miss Taz. You're on the ball, more so than I am. That's not a surprise. I am. Right, let's get to demo. We're going to do 2 demos if I've got time. And I want to do one that is using the main card shape, and then I'm going to do one that's more clean and simple. Obviously, we had demos all day yesterday. Please do feel free to go back to there. And then this afternoon, I'll do 2 more, and I'll do one with the tree later on as well. So yeah, I'm hoping you're going to get a really good mix of things that you can do. Right, let me empty my little bag. It always sounds like I'm eating crisps. I wish I was, Miss Tiz Taz. Right, I'm using a normal cut background here, and I'm going to start to interact it with the other elements and show you how to sort of, you know, build everything together. So this is cut at 6 by 8 1/4 if anybody wants to copy the idea. Now, all the other demos that I've done, and I think every other demo that I've done with the main card shape, is using the base that comes with it. But I wanted to work different ways of interacting with it, because I know that we all craft differently, and I know that some of you like to create in different ways too. So I just thought, let's play. So I'm just going to place this down, line it up against my mat so I know that I've got that line straight, and place down, okay? And that gives me my card base. I'm going to start working in some mats and layers. So for this, I'm using the Perfect papers, and I wanted to show you how the Perfect papers match and blend with everything else. And because the main card shape comes with its vignettes and it's coloured, I just wanted to give you the chance to see how your Perfect papers are blending. So I'm going to work in on a 3mm, pull back those tabs, hold them, slip and slide until you get it where you want it to be, and then commit to your stick. Place, push, pull. Next layer again on a 3mm. This is one of the free backing papers that you're getting from the Carnation Crafts website, and this will be with your collections. So when your vignettes go live at, I would imagine they're going to go live probably at 1, 2, something like that. When they go live, don't forget to get your backing papers, because look how stunning they are. I showed you the stripy one in that sample earlier, and then look at this. Isn't that beautiful? That kind of vintage tone to it. I really like the backing papers for these ones. I'm just going to pull halfway. Slip and slide, get it into place. Watch that perfect blend just take place. Aren't they beautiful together? And then we're going to come in, and now I'm going to use, obviously, look at that. See how we play? So I'm using the Easy Aperture here from the main card shape, and there's so many different ways we can use the main card shape. But what I want to do as well is incorporate the tree. So I've got the tree sitting here. Now obviously if I place that behind my aperture, it's big. Okay, I can fill the whole background with it. Isn't it pretty? But I just want to do half. Now I've got options here. I can either cut the tree in half, and it's got cut lines on it, so it's going to make it super easy for me to do, or I can fold it. And I was sat playing with this when I was creating demos, and I don't know if this is going to work or not, but it doesn't matter whether I cut it or I don't. I'm obviously going to use it at the side, and it's going to come in as part of an aperture. But can you see how that raises? Now I'm pretty sure when I was working with the aperture, but I don't know when I use the foam tape, that it actually stays a little bit raised, and I really like it visually. But I've got a feeling when I push down it may not stay there, but I'm going to play with that and hope that it stays, because I really like it. I love the lift on it. So all I'm going to do is use wet glue here, and I'm going to use the wet glue, the Everyday Carnation's Everyday Glue, which is my favourite wet adhesive. Out of all of the adhesives I've ever used, this one is absolutely my favourite. I'm going to take the aperture, no, the applicator. Aperture's on the brain, Miss Towers. And I'm going to wet glue the back of it. Not much. 1. Just little bits. 2. I don't want it to go through the holes, obviously, because I want to keep that bottom one free. And I'm going to make sure the trunk is well placed. The reason I'm using wet glue here, and I could use red liner tape if I so chose, or I could obviously change the adhesives up, but I'm going to need some slip and slide room because I haven't placed my aperture yet. I know it needs roughly to be about there with that little margin, but I don't know how big the margin needs to be. Because I want this to be central, because my backing paper is slightly larger than my aperture, I need to make sure I've got placement before I go any further. So I'm just going to push it in and keep checking my workings. And that seems about right to me. I can't see the tree, but I can see my backing paper. So I'm happy with that. So with that being said, I'm then going to lift and I'm going to commit. So I can place my adhesive points down and commit, and I'm going to leave that open so it lifts. And then I'm going to work out with this where my aperture is going to sit. So again, we're getting that slip and slide. Nothing at the top and the bottom. It means I can tuck things in as well. So just, let's see if this works. With that little raise just coming through the aperture. So once I've got that and I've committed, let's see if it does what I want it to do. There we go. Can you see? I've still got my lift. Isn't that pretty? That movement in the card, that shadow. And the only reason I can do that is because it folds so beautifully in half. So I get that gorgeous play here that I really, really like. There's something about bringing out the 3D element to it. Next, I'm going to work with the next layer. And so as my apertures raise, because that tree is doing what I want it to do, can you see how it becomes more and more 3D as I'm working? As I'm lifting those layers, it adds a different perspective to the 3D. And that's because we get to use the Easy Aperture card. It just makes life a dream. It really is one of the best card shapes I've ever worked with. Place this on top. Push, pull. Gorgeous blending, isn't it? It's just pretty, pretty, pretty. And now I've got these straps that I can sit on the side, and I love these. I love how quickly it finishes the detailing for me. It's really, really important. So I'm going to put the straps on. Small amounts of adhesive in that triangle. I'm going to work on the triptych, so 1, 2 and 3, just on my corners here, 1, 2 and 3. That'll hold it nicely in place. Place down, hold, get your adhesive point, just there. I love that. Massive thank you to Nick and the team for producing this card. It's absolutely brilliant. 1, 2 and 3. 1, 2 and 3. Place in. Isn't that gorgeous? Yes, Miss Taz?
Some more people have commented. Linda said that she uses the push-pull method all the time now. Thanks, Carla.
Oh, do you? That's easy, isn't it? Just means we can get it in place real quick.
And Sam Smith's postman's just come.
Well done, Sam Smith. Well done. It's just a joy. You're going to have so much fun. It really is really awesome, this whole collection. Now, what I'm going to do is raise in some corners here, because as much as I love that strap line, I like the detailing of the corners that I get. Now, these have got their own mats and you can put them on them. I've got to tell you, I love them with and without. So play while you're playing and just work out what you feel more comfortable with. So I'm just going to take this. And I'm going to hold it. You see where you've got this point here, the second piece in. I'm just going to hold it there because I'm not worried about the adhesive on that point, but I do want the adhesive on this tip, okay? So I'm just going to place. So 1, 2. This is where your applicators are really important. And it's why we have the long fuzzy, not the round fuzzy, because I can get into the most intricate detail. So that's enough. Straight on with these, and I'm going to obviously do all 4, so please bear with me. And they're gorgeous. Absolutely. See how it finishes it? Because it blends with the corner so well, doesn't it? So just holding it at that second point again, tiny, tiny amounts. Just enough to keep it stuck. Commit. Make sure they're straight. Back short, right, then commit. See how Carnation's Everyday Glue gives me that wiggle room? It just makes it easy. You can find it over on our website there. Please do. I don't know the number for it, I'm afraid, guys, but it's on there. Place this down. I love this. Isn't it really, I can't help but think it reminds me of cowboy times, cowboy films. Which then makes me think of Calamity Jane, which then makes me want to watch Calamity Jane because I really love that film. And I want to sing. Yes, Miss Taz.
Wendy has just received hers as well, but what I really like is in the comments everyone keeps like congratulating each other and being really happy that other people have got
they've all got their stuff. It's so
Yeah.
exciting when it comes, guys. Right, what I'm going to do out here is just add in one tiny extra detail. I'm going to add in some other stuff, but I just want to add in the moon. Now, I had a choice at this moment. Did I want to use the moon that is in the baby blue, or did I want to use the yellow one? And I chose to go with the yellow one very, very strategically because it pops. Because I'm using the muted greens, I just wanted that massive inflection of colour. And I've used the yellow one very, very strategically. It's the only pop of colour I'm going to give this card. The only pop, okay? And the reason I've done it, and I can't really explain it, when you use the bright yellow and everything else is muted right down, that tone has gone, what happens is it makes the card, it visually gives you nighttime because I'm using the very bright moon against the muted tones. It's a night, it gives you, you might be able to see what I mean rather than me explain it, because honestly, I am useless with the explanations. But the minute I take this and I place it, I give it a nighttime feel. So we're just going to take that moon and I can choose which way to curve it. So I can have it curved up if I want the moon obviously that way, or I can curve it down. Either way looks very pretty, but I'm going to go with that feel for it so that the moon is sat upwards, and suddenly we have that nighttime vision. Okay, so suddenly instead of it being a daytime card, it became a nighttime card. Your shade works in. So it's just super pretty. And then I've got Little Miracle here. These are your Bundles of Joy digital stamps. So I'm going to place these in just hither. And then now we start to work with these. Okay, now I want the baby to be strategically placed just where I've got the gap down here. And the reason being is I want my stalk to be central. So I'm working all the time with the shape and the area that I've got. The reason I put the moon in, more importantly, is because I want to just balance the card by placing this at the bottom. That section, the midsection, follows up with the moon. The stalk comes across. So I'm building balance the whole way through. And because I've got the shade line coming where that tree opens and the shadows play in, it gives it, you know, that kind of nighttime feel. But I need the baby to be high enough, because if I just lay the baby flat, like so, the stalk isn't holding it. Yes, from where you're looking at it visually there, it might look fine, but when I lift the card up, the baby's flying backwards. I've got to lift the baby because otherwise it won't work. So what I was saying yesterday is when I'm shaping the baby, that sentence is never going to feel right. But anyway, when I'm shaping the baby, I'm going to only shape where the baby is on here. So in order to give it more of a 3D effect, keeping the bow where it is, I'm going to pinch the top. I'm not going to shape it with a ball tool. I'm just pinching that top section. And already it looks like the baby is weighted at the bottom because it's pinched. It looks like the fabric has moved to accommodate the baby. Then from there, I'm going to take my ball tool. I'm taking quite a small ball tool. It's probably the second or third largest in the group, if you see what I mean. Not largest, but smallest, if you see where I'm going. And I'm going to take my outside edge and I'm going to start working it through. And I'm just going to rotate round, and so the weighted area, or visually the weighted area, becomes the baby itself. The rest of it is pinched fabric, and that's going to give me a really beautiful visual. So I'm just going to place that back on here, and then what happens is I've now got a weighted baby. Does that make sense? So I've put all of the weight where it would be realistically, and it's a simple pinch at the top and a roll round with your ball tool. That's it. We're not talking technical difficulty here. It's done, but it gives you that feel that the baby is weighing something. Bringing this in then, I'm just going to fill this with pin flare as best I can, and I'm going to put lots in. I need that lift, remember? So that is high. You see? I filled it, absolutely filled it. I want it to be higher than the tree. Placing strategically down so I know the stalk's beak is going to come over from that central point. And I'm just going to very gently weight it at the bottom. And my stalk will move the top to where it needs to be. And by doing that, I'm just gently pushing. That's now higher than where the stalk is, but when the stalk comes in, I can weight him down, if you see where I'm going. So a little bit of shaping on the stalk. I actually don't want too much because the stalk looks pretty 3D anyway, but I am going to just shape his wings out more than anything else. So I'll take the same ball tool that I had a moment ago. Not too worried about the body, it's the wing I just want to play with. So I'm going to start at the tip, and you see where Nick's shade line is here, so it's darker on this edge and then lighter in here. I'm just going to play on that area, so I'm just going to pull that down, all the way down the card to there, and then I'm going to take a smaller ball tool, and I'm just going to work in here. Starting on the outside, break your fibres first, and then just pulling in a circle at that point where the wing meets. So we're working with the musculature of the wing here, and I'm just shaping out, but I'm keeping a different ball tool just to break the fibres of that darker piece, and that'll give me a different type of sculpt. Oh, thought I'd drop that then. So now his wing is obviously very tilted back, and I don't really want it to be tilted back. So I'm going to take control of it by using that cut line that Nick's put in just at the dark point of the wing there. I'm going to take it and I'm going to put my thumbnail there. So my thumb now is dictating, and I'm just going to pull the body up. Just gently, so that wing tilts forward. Okay, so I'm always manipulating Nick's cut lines. That's my strength. Nick's cut lines are my strength. It's the way I get to shape things out. And it's important, and it's done on purpose. A little bit of wet glue on that wing line. That's all I'm using, just on that wing line, because it's just the central point of where he's going to sit. Not putting anything else in. I could put a little bit of pin flare just inside that wing gap if you want to raise it slightly. I'm going to take his beak, on that stalk. Place him down. Remember, I said I was going to let him weight down the baby and the little bag there. And I'm just putting it just under the bow. So he'll push the top of that back. Really beautiful, simple card to make. Really easy. There's nothing difficult about that at all. So as I turn it around so you can see it, you'll start to see the dimension that lifts with that tree as it folds. So can you see just here that dimension that we get? Now, because it folds in half and you've got that fold and that little gap appears, it looks like you've created decoupage. If you want to really fully work on that, what you can do is put pin flare between. I don't want to. I like movement, and I'm really happy with the movement of it. But if you do want to really manipulate that, you could shape the tree out and you could put pin flare behind it. You do what you want to do in order to get your visual impact. But I love the shadow that creates with it, because I love movement in cards, and I love the fact that shadows change as the day goes by. So making something very simple as this, you know, you're just putting a couple of vignettes. Look at the power of it. That's the power of Carnation. It's so easy to make really good cards with Carnation. You'll find this on their website, 231001. This is Dreamland Safari. It is a normal price of $89.99. Carnation are going to give you a really good discount of 10% today, and you'll need the code CCDS10 to get 10% off in the shop there. The website is www.carnationgraphs.co.uk. But this is our last live day with it, and we've only got one more show after this one. So now's your time to grab. Yes, Miss Tiz Taz.
Everyone's so lovely. So Sam has said, what a stunning card. Both Linda Wilson and Linda McLeod at the same time said beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
We've got Harla that says, morning Carla, just stunning. She might mean the card, she might mean you.
I think the card.
And then Sam's also said, what a stunning card.
Ah, thank you guys. That's very, very kind. Listen, any card with Carnation is stunning. It doesn't matter whether I'm making it or anybody else is making it, because it's easy to make stunning cards with Carnation. I'm hoping I've got time for one more demo, Miss Taz, have I? Because I want to now do something completely different. I'm going to take it completely away from baby, and I'm going to take it completely away from that card shape, and we're going to look at those florals, because every element with Carnation, thank you, Miss Taz, she's doing this to tell me I've got 6 minutes. Every card with Carnation is stunning. Every element with Carnation is stunning. And I always try and say this because it's really important to me personally, actually, nothing really to do with anyone. I'm sure nobody else is bothered, but I hate being boxed in. So I hate being told this is a baby collection. It's not a baby collection. You can make stunning baby cards with it, but what else can we make with it? Easy, simple, beautiful, clean lines. That's what we can make with it. Let's do that. And take this out of its packaging. Now let's look at the florals. And let's look at those as a standalone piece, because the florals are beautiful. I've taken a DL shape, okay, with a bit of the usual, because it's me, and why wouldn't it? Oh look, I haven't scored that. Miss Taz said to me this morning as my cat was sitting on my desk, well, now we all know why you've always got a bit of Miss Phyllis with you, and she's quite right. So I'll just use a bit of red liner tape. So I haven't scored this for some reason. My brain was probably on holiday, Miss Taz. That's where it normally is. Yes, Miss Taz.
Whilst you're doing that, Wendy said that her granddaughter crafts with her. She absolutely loves it. And Suzanne has said, again, absolutely gorgeous card, Carla.
I think you guys, you're very kind, you guys. Thank you very much. I'm very, very grateful. That's very sweet. Let me remove that. And I'm going to have to go steady now. So, This is why I score, and this is why I push it towards my body. This is a great example because this is going to go hideously wrong. It's not scored and I can't push it towards my body. I've got two options. I could take a ruler and score it, which I'm not going to do. I'm going to show you the disaster of not pulling it towards your body, which I'm sure we've all experienced in the past. I've experienced it way too many times. The problem is I can't shuffle it and get it exact. Because if I shuffle it and I get it exact, it's going to stick before I get my sticking point. I know most of you already know this, but if you're just starting out, it's a really valuable lesson, because when we don't do things properly, disasters strike, Miss Taz. So what I'm going to have to do is shape it at the bottom. It's already pinched, you see. So that closure is already there. So if that hadn't been right, I've just lost the ability to control the card. So those little moments where we just pull it back towards our body, it just makes sense to give ourselves that extra option. I'm taking in some backing papers, and I'm just using the backing paper on this one because I want really clean lines and I only want a hint of it, and I want clean. Okay, now I could have gone white on white, and you know me, I'm always happy to white on white it, but I just wanted a hint, just a hint of very muted tone. Now if I place this down, where I've cut the backing paper, I've very strategically cut it with the grunge element, what looks like a almost not dirty, but you know what I mean, that grunge elements at the top and the bottom. And I'm going to utilise those most just by putting those in. Your enamel dots, with this collection specifically, but they'll work with all of Carnation's collections, these enamel dots are just going to visually give you that little shiny click. It's just a really beautiful, can you see? It just gives it something else, right? They're really pretty. I'm so glad Carnation have given us the enamel dots. Yes, Miss Tiztaz.
Sorry. So Carla has said something really lovely. She said, Carla, you're so amazing that every time I watch, I buy the complete collection and whatever you recommend. Thank you for your creativity. Linda Wilson has said, you're a very good teacher. And Carol Hart has said, I wasn't going to buy, but now you've convinced.
Who said?
Carol Hart.
Oh, well, A up, Carol Hart. A up, lovely face. Right, let's work composition-wise. Composition is easy. And the reason composition is easy is there's tricks that we can use and there's rules that we can stand by. And one of those things is being able to work in diagonals. Diagonals really important. So when we're taking these florals, that's what I'm going to do. So I've got the long leaves. Work in symmetry and work in diagonal. If you're just starting and you want to create something really eye-catching, go with symmetry and go with a diagonal. You can't go wrong, she says. Place this in. I do apologise if you can hear my tummy rumbling. It's very loud. Can you hear it? I'm so sorry. It sounds like I've got a little grumbly monster in my tummy, which is probably quite true. So taking that and taking that. So I'm just working visually on a diagonal. Now, what I'll say to you is, if I place my sentiment in the middle, the power of Carnation is, that is a really beautiful, clean, simple line, right? That card, these are visually the throwaways, right? Those leaves, they're your throwaway elements. But actually, look how powerful they are. That's extraordinary to me. Right, I'm going to work fast because Miss Tiztaz keeps giving me a countdown quite aggressively with her finger.
I'm only giving you a countdown because we have another show and I have to set up.
I'm just ignoring her. So I'm going to place my leaves here. So I've got them exactly where I want them. Now I need to place my sentiment, because if I don't, I won't know where my florals need to be. Because if I put a floral in now and it's too low down, my sentiment's going to cover it and it's pointless. So at this point, I'm working again in strategic manners, just to be able to make sure I can control the elements and where they are visually placed. So I'm going to place this in the center. Look at that. I mean, that's gorgeous, right? You don't need to add the florals in. It's stunning. Now I can start adding my other elements in. So I'm going to take what I think is a little parrot. flower, and I'm going to place, or passion flower or something along those lines, and I'm bringing in my lines. So I'm just working diagonally and I'm working symmetrically. It's an easy fix for any card. If your creativity is at a low ebb, and we all have that, don't we, where we have almost writer's block, but with creativity, work diagonally, work symmetrically. It'll just bring all your ebb and flow back. Shaping out, I want them cupping upwards, so I work from the front. My ball tool is too big, which sounds like a children's book, doesn't it? 1, I want them up. 2, just working in that central point on these because we've got cut lines all the way to the center. For the magnolias, however, I'm going to work from the outside. Don't have the cut lines, can't just crease my paper, so I work from the outside in. Spiral it out right to that center point, and then a little bit of extra oomph in the center. Simple and easy and quick. Pin flare, I'm going to bring the big ones in first. Just place it right next to that. Magnolia behind it. Little pop of colour from that parrot plant at the back. Same again. In. Put it to the opposite way of that one. Little magnolia behind it. Oh. Stunning. Visually impactful. Those gorgeous enamel dots just finishing it off for me without me really having to do anything. It's just a small visual cue. Really beautiful card. It focuses purely on the florals, not on the baby. Absolutely gorgeous, right? There's no collection with Carnation that boxes you in. I don't want to be told this is just for babies. It's not. It's a stunning collection. Visually beautiful, bright and joyful. That's what Dreamland Safari is. You can find it on the Carnation Crafts website, which is www.carnationcrafts.co.uk. 231001. Use your code CCDS10 to get your 10% off, taking it down to £80.99. We've only got one more show, guys, and then we are at the end. Yes, Miss Tiztaz.
Just a couple of comments before we leave. Dawn Fletcher said, all I can say is wow, have just received my dies. Just waiting for the vignettes.
It's all going to be in your palm by the end of today. Your vignettes will be there at 2 o'clock at the very latest, I would imagine, for you to go and play to your heart's content. It has been an absolute joy. Yes, Miss Taz.
Couple more. Karen Jane has said, beautiful card.
Thank you.
Heather Buller said, I think you are so good, Carla. And I think she said they're ginger flowers. And Suzanne Page has said, I don't lose my mojo so much now I use Carnation Crafts products.
I know, right? Makes it easy, doesn't it? Because it's easy to craft with Carnation. I mean, 2 really quick cards. I only had, what, 20 minutes for demo? Really easy, really quick cards. And you can create them just as easily. Enjoy the journey, right? That's the main thing. We'll be back with you at 12 o'clock, I believe. I'm going to eat something so that I'm not quite so noisy for the next show. I do apologise. Bad timing on my part, and I will see you in an hour's time. Have a lovely lunch, and I'll see you then. Take care. Bye.